So at this point in my life, I'm very, very focused. I'm on a journey called Confident Confidence. I've been at places where I haven't had the most confidence. I feel like I didn't measure up to whatever the standard was of that industry or that entity I was a part of. But I've gotten to a place now, getting close to 50, and I'm not really interested in measuring up. I'm interested in being the measure that people have to measure up to. Confident confidence is where I'm headed, it's what I am, and it's what I intend to take and share with the world. You can do whatever you want, you can be whoever you want, you can accomplish whatever you want. All you need is confident confidence. This is the journey. Come along.
Won't see it on the 6 o'clock news. It's now waiting in the mail. I trust you. I woke up and my whole world changed. You're the kind of love that gives me faith, and I believe.
Hello and thank you. Welcome to another episode of Building Bridges with Tyrus. Look, today I am so excited. You talk about building a bridge. I have a guest today. Look, I have to read it. He has accomplished so much that I have to read it. My guest today is Rudy Currence, who is a Grammy and Dove award-winning producer, singer, and songwriter, who has also had the opportunity to work with names legendary Quincy Jones, David Banner, and the gospel rapper, Lecrae. That's pretty dope, right? All of this while being a PK. He's a pastor's kid who has found his way in love and passion in music ministry. And today we're going to talk about how to build that bridge with ministry and marketplace with Rudy Currence. Help me welcome my guest today. Rudy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Honored to be here.
I am honored that you came, man. Thank you for being with us. I am so fascinated by your story. Wow. Being a pastor, having kids, and I'm a PK, I'm a preacher's kid, not a pastor's kid. I'm a preacher's kid who became a pastor after I was an adult, moved away, then started pastoring a church. But my kids have had that stigma all their lives because I've been a pastor all of their lives. Right. So they've had the pastor, dad pastor.
Yes, yes.
How was that as an experience for you, being a pastor's kid and gifted at the same time? Talk to me about that.
Wow. It's been amazing. As I mentioned before, my family, I consider them to be the superstars. I grew up a PK in Rock Hill. My dad's been a pastor my entire life. And so I've got a chance to see him shepherd and have an amazing outreach ministry. But also, he's a gifted musician. So I started playing the piano at 6. I started singing actually before that at the age of 3. And my parents both nurtured my musical gifts, and they actually, my dad would give me a lot of opportunities. We would sing and play in church, and they're both just music lovers. So I think, for us in our household, spirituality and music ministry went hand in hand. So, we would hear not only the sacred gospel classics like Shirley Caesar, and my parents really loved the Hawkins family. Yeah. Andre Crouch, but also we heard Michael Jackson and Prince and Motown. Okay. So it was just a melting pot of eclectic music, and so I'm grateful for that.
Wow. Don't tell my children, okay? That stuff wasn't allowed in the house. So
oh, wow.
When I was growing up, I'm probably going to date myself here, but we had 8 tracks.
Oh, okay.
So Mighty Clouds of Joy.
Okay, yeah, quartet, yeah.
That kind of stuff. Okay. And so it was either the 8-track or the hymn books.
Okay.
It's only those two. We read, I read music, so I was able to play the piano a little bit. Probably not at your level, but I was able to play the piano by reading music. And Mom didn't allow any secular music in the house. Wow. So of course I grew up, and I did that to my children. I said I did it to them. Until they kind of like revolted and started listening to it anyway.
Yeah.
And then I started listening to it with them. I was like, oh my God, I'm not saved anymore. But quickly to only learn that, yes, I am still saved.
Yeah.
But I think it's fascinating that your parents supported your drive, supported your gifts, supported what you were doing, and obviously they had to get involved with the genre of music that you were listening to.
Absolutely.
Wow, how'd that work out?
Well, I mean, I really give honor to my parents. They supported not only myself, but my younger brother, Michael Starr. We came up playing and singing together. He actually produced my last radio single, Testimony. It was the top 20 Billboard record at gospel radio as well. So not only did they see the musical gifts in me, but they saw it in him as well. And what I really, really appreciate about both my parents is that they never limited us to, you have to do this. Of course, when we first started, they strongly encouraged gospel because that's all we knew.
Yes.
But at the same time, my horizons were always broadened by, being a part of our middle school, high school choral and band program. Of course, you're not playing only gospel music. You're playing secular music and other styles and other genres of music as well. So it was amazing. My father, fun fact, he's the oldest of 7. And so all of his brothers also preach and or pastor. Wow. And so like yourself, some of them were a lot more strict, with their children. But I'm grateful that my dad, had enough vision and enough, I guess, wisdom on his part to see that, hey, music is for the world, God is love, and God can be shown in your music, whether you're singing a traditional song. You mentioned hymns. We grew up AME Zion before he went non-denominational, but hymns are big in the Methodist Church.
Yes, sir.
So those anthems and things like that, I have a reverence for that. So I'm just grateful I got the best of both worlds.
That's nice. Now, do you find yourself sliding in and out? Because I've listened to your I Belong Here. Absolutely love that song. Absolutely love it.
Thank you so much.
Great song. And as I listened to it, I was tempted to throw a hymn in there a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself flowing back
all
and
the
forth?
all the time. I will segue and create a medley in a minute. A lot of times, even with I Belong Here, I'll incorporate the classic, just timeless hymn, Amazing Grace. Because just the lyric, that timeless truth of Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. And that really correlates and relates to the message of I Belong Here, because there's a lyric in I Belong Here that says, for somebody like you to love somebody like me. And so that whole message, it was really all about God's grace and his love for us.
How did you get the confidence to just kind of break through? Because knowing you belong here is one thing, right? But then actually showing up without hesitation, how do you break through that? Because now our viewing audience is wide, right? Yeah. Not everyone has the same background, not everyone is the same way, but there's somebody who is struggling with the fact that they belong.
Right.
And you have this, it's all over your shirt, it's all over the billboards, it's all over your music, it's all over your website. You belong here. How did you arrive there to say, not only do I belong here writing, I belong singing, I belong on the billboards, absolutely. I belong as a Grammy nominee and award winner, I belong. How do you get that confidence?
Wow. It's amazing. God's timing is perfect. During this pandemic, I'm so proud of the work that I released. I released 4 singles so far. I Belong Here, #Hope Remix with my big brother David Banner, and then Oh Holy Night with Korean artist Jay Jin. And I actually wrote I Belong Here several years ago. And honestly, if I be transparent, it was a moment in my career. I think God gave me just the reassurance, that blessed reassurance that, you have a space in this world, growing up in the church, I've experienced church hurt. I've experienced disappointment in the music industry, and sometimes you can grow a little weary, in well-doing.
Yeah, for sure.
And, it was like God was reminding me that all the things that you've been through are leading you somewhere. You still have purpose. You still have, significance, and you're walking in your calling. Fast forward to the last, 12, 13 months when we released the song. We literally released the song at the beginning of the global pandemic. And so that message now took on a deeper and a wider revelation because there's so many people out here that felt displaced, that felt isolated, that felt like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. They're sheltering in place. They're losing loved ones. People are losing jobs, dealing with financial hardships, depression, anxiety. We're talking about civil unrest in the country, and people are longing for community. And so I Belong Here speaks to every one of those situations. People need to know that they're loved, that God created them with a specific purpose in mind, and that they belong here.
Wow. Wow. When you're thinking about that, because you're right, where we are and where people are right now is a different place that none of us knew.
Absolutely.
None of us saw this coming. None of us could have planned for it. We had our dreams and our plans, but then, global pandemic happened, was like, psych.
Right.
You had to plan, psych. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen that way. But then God somehow ignites a fire in us in the middle of chaos. He'll ignite a fire, not to burn everything up, but to stir out gifting that's inside of us. I think it's amazing that you have really maximized this time, right? A time that folks would kind of retreating and kind of backing up. You maximize it, and you're smiling through it.
Yeah.
You are smiling through it.
Yeah, it's a daily thing, I think that we all have struggles. This pandemic has been hard. I've lost some loved ones. Thank God nobody has passed because of COVID, but, COVID has impacted how we celebrate life. And so I'm human just like anybody else, but I'm thankful to have such a timely message as I Belong Here to just remind me as well as I encourage the world that, God still has a plan.
God still has a plan.
Yeah.
Man, Rudy, that's powerful, because not only does God still have a plan, we still have a responsibility.
That's right.
So his plan, but it's our responsibility to go after it.
Absolutely.
To pursue it, to be nonstop, to not be discouraged, which can be very hard, especially in the music industry.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about some of those hurdles you've had to overcome. Not necessarily the exact situations, but there's somebody who's watching who has a song in them.
Yeah.
They have a CD in them. They have a whole album in them.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like, I've seen stuff afar. How do I? Let's start it before we go to break. Tell me, let's start it.
Okay, well, for me, I'm grateful, to be, a little country boy from Rock Hill, South Carolina, be a PK, and to have worked with so many of the industry's biggest and best. That's just a testimony of what God can do. But definitely, I've had a lot of challenges. Being an independent artist, you have to grow a thick skin and get used to being told no more than you're going to be told yes, but you have to have that consistent determination. And as you mentioned, I believe it's confident confidence. So just like you, I'm trying to build bridges in music, from between secular, sacred, and so forth. And so I just want to encourage anybody that's out there, especially during this pandemic. It's a great time to pursue your passions. It's a great time to get still and look for God for the instruction and the blueprint on how to pursue those things. I do that daily. Like, I try to seek Him and ask Him to lead and guide me and order my steps.
Nice. And we're gonna go into that a little bit more after break, Rudy, because you've got some great celebrations. You've seen some good success.
Yes, sir.
And I want to know how we can help these folks be successful in their endeavors. Listen, we're going to have a quick word from our sponsor, Hinton Cares Foundation. Right after their message, we will be right back here to continue this conversation and build some bridges with Ministry and Marketplace with Rudy Currence.
See it on the 6 o'clock news.
I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who contributes to Hinton Cares Foundation. Your donations make it possible to do what we do. We feed so many families that are here that are having a very challenging time, but they can come to a nice, warm Sunday dinner. And you, because of your generosity, that happened for so many great people here at Ronald McDonald House in Durham, North Carolina. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Sunrise lights up another day.
All right, we are back. What a great break. Hinton Cares Foundation is a foundation that I began in 2017, which provides emotional support to children and families that are dealing with childhood cancer. Of course, if you're watching and you know who Tyrus Hinton is, you know that we have lost a son to childhood cancer. From that, we built an organization who provides support. We go into Ronald McDonald House and places like that. We provide meals, we take care packages. Every holiday is a holiday for Hinton Cares because we take the love that we have and we give it abroad. But listen, hop on to HintonCaresOrganization.com. You can find out more about that there. But I am going to talk some more with my guest today, Rudy Currence, he is blessing my soul, y'all. Offset, I have enjoyed him offset, and I'm enjoying him even more sitting here talking. Rudy Currence, you have really, man, I feel like you've beat the odds, to be honest with you.
Wow.
And not that it was so hard, not that your life was hard, not that your life was bad, but the fact that you broke through, you recorded your album, you hit the billboards,
Yes.
you've received a Grammy, you received a dub. Dude, I don't even know what I would wear to a Grammy show. I don't know what I would wear to a dub show. I don't know. I'm about to find out, though, because I'm going to go to some of these shows.
Yes, sir. It can happen.
But, just so you've beat the odds. You didn't get defeated. You didn't get discouraged. You didn't let it stop you from doing what you're doing. To someone who is watching us now, what was the key? Because I see you got #hope.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that #hope. Did that #hope keep you from quitting?
Again, I definitely have to acknowledge the morals and the work ethic that I think my parents helped to instill in me. I stand on a lot of scripture and just promises of God, like, if you be faithful over a few things, I'll make you ruler over many things. And sometimes if we can just, be good stewards over the things that we're called to, God will elevate us and expand the opportunities that we have. He's sometimes waiting on us, to show that we're ready to go to that next level. I'm grateful again to have written #hope. That's more about the civil unrest that's been happening in this country that we've witnessed, most recently during the pandemic, but it's honestly been a recurring theme. Even my godfather, who is now passed, the late Jim Wells, was a part of a famous sit-in in Rock Hill, South Carolina, the Friendship 9. And so I was inspired, kind of like I Belong Here, to write #hope before the pandemic around the Eric Garner case.
Wow.
He passed because of police brutality, and he said, "I can't breathe."
Yes.
Well, of course, during this pandemic, we all were at home sheltering in place when we witnessed the murder of George Floyd. And he said those, infamous same 3 words, "I can't breathe."
Yeah.
And so I honestly was convicted because I hadn't released the song. So I released it during the pandemic. We got the consent of MC and activist Killer Mike. And then we released a remix with my big brother David Banner, who is an amazing, musician, singer, MC, producer, and activist as well. And I just hope that the song not only encourages hope, but also gives us a freedom song that we can march to and that can become an anthem while we're trying to deconstruct systemic racism.
I love that. I love that, Rudy, because you're gifted, right?
Yeah.
You're gifted.
Thank
That's
you.
ministry. But then you are wise.
Thank you.
You are attentive to what's going on. You are attentive to the climate. You are attentive to the atmospheres. And you are bridging the gap, which is what we're talking about, building bridges. So it's really, I'm building the bridge with Rudy today.
Yes, sir.
We're doing this together. But you've been able to build a bridge. You've been able to take that music ministry, provide healing and awareness at the same time.
Yes, sir.
You're not spreading hate. You're spreading awareness. You're spreading love. But then you're spreading #hope. I absolutely love that, man. I think it's amazing because there are people that sometimes what they see and what the climate is can cause them to react very differently.
Yes.
And it sounds like you've taken what you've seen, what you've not even experienced, but what you've seen, and you've allowed the experience to become different for you. Not to be mad, not to be angry, but to provide hope.
I think as public figures, as recording artists, as pastors, anybody with a platform, you have a responsibility.
Amen.
And so I don't take that lightly. I'm grateful for messages like #hope. And I'm grateful for platforms like this because I think that it's important as a body of believers that we show the duality of the bridge, and how it is important for us to not position ourselves to be us versus them.
Nice.
But when you approach people with love, I believe in music, and in entertainment, God has called me to be a bridge.
Amen.
And so just being here is affirmation to me, and it encourages me because even within the body body of Christ, Sunday mornings can be so segregated.
Oh.
You know, I've had the pleasure and the honor of serving in different types of ministry, gospel and say, quote unquote, black community, multicultural, white evangelical, and God is God of everybody. So, you know, I just want to make sure that if anything, I can just encounter people with love like Christ did, and then just show them that, you know, I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to compel you with love.
Wow. You're here to build a bridge.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of catchy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you are, and when I see what you guys are doing, I'm saying you guys, musical artists, you have hard jobs.
Yeah.
You have hard jobs because you're writing and you're believing while you're writing. And I can't imagine how many papers you balled up. Oh, that's me. Are y'all using paper now, or y'all just typing everything on your phone?
You know, whatever is, you know, close by, a lot of times it's voice memos for me.
Voice memos, okay.
Matter of fact, this morning I was recording a voice note. Just, you know, I'm always creating, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, what is that process like?
It varies because I've been in studios with some amazing singer or songwriter and producers that I've been able to glean from, and so it may be that I'm writing, you know, lyrics and melody to somebody's instrumental track. For me personally, as an artist, I love to create organically just from scratch. So it may just be me coming up with a song idea, you know, or a theme to a song or a concept, or it may be me, you know, with some chords playing on the piano or the guitar. I like to write on both of those instruments. So it just really just depends.
It all depends.
Yeah.
With this pandemic happening the way it is, and you know, I know folks weren't as able to get out as they were before. Are you still traveling? Have you been able to maintain that, or are you doing a lot of virtual things? Are you teaching? Are you training? What are you doing?
I've been blessed. I'm so thankful. I've done a lot of virtual work during this pandemic. I'm starting to take dates selectively. I just did an Easter event with a local church here, and that was amazing. It was an outdoors event. So I'm just being really selective just because I want to also be mindful of my community during COVID-19. But I've been blessed to have a lot of virtual work. A lot of the college touring that I was doing pre-pandemic, I've continued to do just virtually. I do a lot of virtual worship services, a lot of Zooms, a lot of interviews, a lot of Instagram, Facebook Lives. So all the touring aspects I've been able to manage, just not in person.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. When we're thinking about this, Rudy, wow, you just said something that made me think about your legacy, right?
Yeah.
So this is Rudy Currence. This is where the Lord has you. This is your gift, your vein, your mode to encourage, empower, inspire, to connect, to bring hope, to show people that they belong, to give them opportunity, really fulfilling the scriptures. What does that look like next? Are you going to mentor individuals next? Because you've been mentored, obviously. You talk about your parents, and I hope that they watch this and they just take you to dinner or something, because you gave them such a great compliment of how much you love them.
And I do, it's real.
I believe
Yeah,
it. I believe it. I believe that 100%. But what are you thinking about? Because now me, I am on the other side. So I'm Gen X, right? Mm-hmm. Close to 50. Yikes. Close to 50. So I have to start thinking, well, I have been started thinking about who's next? Mm-hmm. Who do I leave? Who do I teach? Who do I train? Because there's so many facets of me. Are you thinking about the same thing? I know you're in the height of you right now, but are you thinking about duplicating yourself at all?
You know, right now I'm definitely in pursuit of artistry. As you mentioned, some great things that have happened just this year. I've hit a lot of career milestones. I had the pleasure, of course, writing and producing for a lot of other people. But this year I got my first #1 Billboard song on the gospel airplay charts for 2 consecutive weeks.
Nice.
Another chart, Billboard gospel songwriter, #1 songwriter in the country. But I think that music education is so important. I actually majored in music at Furman University. Studied classical voice and piano. That also broadened my horizons because I got to sing so much music, honestly, that predated gospel music by centuries, like Italian art songs, arias, German lieder, all these different things. So I don't limit or put God in a box, but I think music education is so vital. It's so important. I also want to give a quick shout out to my booking person, Gigi Locke, because she's been a mentor as well to me, as well as my parents, and she's like like a second mom to me. And of course, my publicist, Leslie Tops, for her support, you know. So I think it takes a village. And so I'm aspiring to maybe one day have either a music camp or a music school. But in the meantime, I am enjoying pursuing music and being on this ride as a recording artist, singer, songwriter with my forthcoming album, Stained Glass Windows.
Wow, dope. That's a word I use a lot. Dope.
That's good.
When you're thinking about that music academy, wow, that is so necessary, especially now. When I was growing up, I'm from New York. We had something called PAL, Police Athletic League, where you can, well, y'all call it the YMCA here in the South, where you can just go and kind of hang out, and there'd be them old guys there that just kind of take you under their wing and, you know, show you the ropes, show you how to shoot pool, talk to you about life. When you talk about that music camp, let's have a vision of it really quick. What does that look like? What is that music camp? Because Rudy's name is going to be on this. This is your legacy.
Yeah.
What does that look like? For someone who's watching and you're getting ready to stimulate their vision, what does that music camp look like?
Wow. Well, I would want it to be well-rounded, as many of the arts as I can include. So that would include, of course, music. It could be dance. It could be visual arts. I think they're all important and influential. I am still fleshing it out, but I definitely would want to also include, as I mentioned before, Village. I've had the pleasure of working with so many dope creatives. So I would want to glean from, you know, their experiences. Me personally, I could share just the things that I've been through, the successes, the pitfalls, some mistakes that I've made, and also just things that I've learned to value, such as using your social media platforms. Things like that I've had a lot of viral success as far as my online profile, and those things have afforded me opportunities like traveling internationally. I've been to Paris, I've been to London, and even when we did the I Belong Here Global Edition video, because a lot of fans from around the world knew me from those viral videos, we had people from New Zealand, South Africa, of course Paris, London, Brazil, so many people to participate in that moment. So yeah, the music camp would be well-rounded and just be, you know, something great for everybody.
Wow, that's a part of my gifting as a pastor, to pull it out of you.
Yeah.
Because I know that that's probably not something you was thinking about when you came in.
Yeah.
But I wanted to pull it out of you because of, it's not only about your gift now, but your gift will have to live after you're long gone.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like your gift can live through many, 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 many generations by loving music and the gift of music.
Yes.
So I really appreciate that. Congratulations again on your success.
Thank you.
It's admirable that you have accomplished all that you have. It's admirable that you are willing to give, not just to receive, but to give. I appreciate that. I'm a giver from the heart. So meeting other givers is always a pleasure to me. I appreciate you, Rudy. Your information is going to be on the screen for folks to be able to follow up with you. Okay. So I hope they follow up with you and make me go viral in a good way. That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
That's awesome.
But listen, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I belong here. Listen, folks, you need to grab a copy of Rudy's. Well, I guess you're not doing CDs now, but go to wherever digital music is sold and make sure you grab a copy. Follow up on his website. It's on the screen. I appreciate my guest today, Rudy Currence, who just helped me build a bridge, ministry and marketplace, music and ministry. And of course, my statement, thing I love to say is, let's build this bridge. That's what we're doing here. Every week, we are building bridges with Tyrus. I want to encourage you, make sure you follow up, connect with us, be a part of what we're doing, but most of all, don't give up. Keep building your bridge. And until next time, the Lord be with you, the Lord bless you, and heaven smile upon you.